Let me ask you something honest. If you are a sales founder or you are building any kind of software business and you are using AI tools right now and how it is actually going. Because if your AI stack looks something like ChatGPT for a copy, some algorithm tool running your onboarding emails, maybe a chatbot answering support tickets, but your churn rate is still climbing, your active members are still flat, and your MR growth is, let's call, disappointing. Then I want you to stay for the next 10 minutes because you're probably not using AI wrong by addicted. You are using it wrong by design. And in this video, I'm going to show you exactly what that means and more importantly, how to fix it. By the end of this video, you are going to understand three things. On the specific AI mistake that's quality destroying sales growth in 2026. 2. Why this makes mistake is so common that even smart founders keep making it. 3. The practical framework to flip your AI strategy and actually make it work for your businesses. No fluff, no theory, just a real step based on patterns I have seen, mistake I have personally made, and what actually moves the needle. Let's go. Quick story. Back in 2023, I launched a project called Winner CPA. I had done the research, I had the tools, I had algorithm running, I even had a generated content going on a schedule. It flopped hard. And you know what I realized after months of trying to figure out what went wrong? I had built something nobody actually needed. I had optimized for a machine to do the wrong job faster. That's a failure cost me time, money, and honestly, a lot of confidence. But it's also taught me something I could ever have learned from a YouTube video or a course. It taught me the difference between using AI or to build what you want to build versus using AI to actually solve what your customer needs solved. And that's the insight. That's the core of what most sales founders are getting completely wrong today. So let's talk about what's actually happening in the sales world right now. A 2006 report from Bisho veterinary patterns on is the most repeated sales forces to the VC firms in the world. Found that over 70% of sales companies using AI tools saw no measurable improvement in their core business metrics within the first 12 months. 70%. That means the majority of founders who invested in AI, who spent time, money, team resource, and integrating those tools. I had nothing to show you for years later. So here's the going wrong. Here's what I call AI disruption trap. Using AI to describe a business instead of using AI to diagnose it. Here's what looks like a persistence. If founder uses AI, write better email, subject, lines, great. But this product onboarding is broken and 60% of users never flash setup. The AI is fixing that. It's putting a niche blow in the looking bird. Another founder uses AI, generate 30 social media posts in a month. Smart, right? But they never tell to their turn customer to find out why people are leaving. The AI is predicting content about a product people don't fully understand or value yet. That's the trap. And here's the uncomfortable truth and why so many founders fell into it. Because disruption is comfortable. Diagnosing is painful when you use AI to generate content, write copy, and automate workflows. You feel productive, that's the output, that's authority. But when you sit down to actually diagnose your product, your churn data, and customer interviews, that's hard, that's uncomfortable, and AI using wrong gives you a very convincing excuse to avoid the discomfort. Think about your own AI stack right now. What percentage of is to destroy your businesses and what percentage is actually diagnosing and fixing your core problems. For most founders, they are honest and 80% of decisions of 20% diagnosis. And it should be the other way around. Alright, so now that we know the problem, let's talk about the fix. I call it DAG framework. Diagnose, Amplify, and Ground. Let me walk you through is on D. Diagnose. First, before you use AI to produce anything, content, emails, code, support replies, use AI to understand what's broken. Particularly, this means feed your churn data into AI and ask if find patterns, update your customer support tickets, and ask the customer the most common complaints. Run your onboarding flow through an AI-ready tool and ask where users are most likely to drop off. That's the AI diagnosis tool, not a prediction tool. That's where the most real leverage is. Back when I was doing mechanic work at a local shop in 2018, the most important skill was not knowing how to fix an engine, and it was knowing how to diagnose what was wrong before you touched anything. A good machine spends 70% of their time finding the problems and 30% fixing it. Most sales founders are spending 100% of their AI time on the fix and zero time on the diagnosis, and that's why nothing actually improves. Amplify what's already working on your knowing what's working in your product. What's the daring activation and what's reducing chart, what's your best customer and have you common, and then use AI to amplify it. If your best customers come from a specific LinkedIn post format, use AI to replicate that format at the scale. If your highest converting onboarding emails has a specific tone or structure, use AI to apply this across all your lifecycle emails. AI is an amplifier, not innovator. The mistake is using AI to innovate new strategies before we have validated that what works. That's how you end up with very specific produced pile of content that gets zero results. Ground your human layers. That's our own almost nobody tells about. In 2026, the sales market is more structured than you have ever been. AI has overlaid and blurred the launching product, which means there are most products completing that same customers. That's only double competitive advantage lived on the human layer. Your perspective, your customer relationships, your unique positionings. If you let AI replace your voice entirely, if you are an entire customer, communities, content, strategies, and product narratives is AI generated, you will sound exactly like every other sales tool fighting for the same attention. Use AI to do the work, but keep your human voice on the top always. Let me give you a concrete examples of what this looks like when it's done right. That's our founder. I call him Ralph. He runs B2B SaaS tool for finance designers. When I looked at his AI startup, I was pure discretion. Automated newsletters, AI chatbot on the homepage, AI generated case studies, but his activation rate was 23%, meaning of 77% of people who sign up never use the product more than once. We applied the DAG framework first. Diagnose. We used AI to analyze 6 months of support tickets. What come back was clear. Users were confused about own specific failures. In the first 5 minutes, that own thing was responsible for the most of drop-off. Then Amplify. He had an onboarding video that get constantly positive feedback. We used AI to restructure this entire onboarding flow on that same style on the top. As guard, we write a short personal email and this own voice sent to every new sign up within 24 hours. Not AI generated, just him, 3 sentences, honest and simple. 6 weeks later, activation rate went from 23 to 51%. Not because he used more AI, because he used it smarter. So here's where we land. It is not the problem, the mindset we bring in the sub-problem. When you use AI to the shortcut, you're thinking to avoid the hard work of understanding your customer, your data, your actual problems, and you end up with a very expensive, very busy, and unpredictable machine. But when you use AI as a dynamic tool first, as an amplifier, the what's actually proven while predicting the human layer that makes your brand incredible. That's when AI stops being a cost center and starts being your biggest growth lever. I started my journey on December 3rd, 2021. I hit a phone, I showed slow internet connection and zero experience. I failed at service. I failed at CPA offers. I launched a project that nobody wanted. Every failure taught me, own thing, tools don't build businesses. Thinking builds businesses. Tools just execute. Use AI to think better, not to think less. That's the real lesson here. In this video gives you even the own thing you are going to do differently this way. Drop in the comments. I read every single one and all. If you found this valuable, subscribe because I put it content like this every week. No flop, this is real stories from someone who's still in the teenagers figuring it out alongside you. My name is Bisho, CPA Bisho, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.